Welcome back to Big Ten Today as we take a look at the Big Ten men's lacrosse tournament bracket. Fifth-seeded Michigan and third-seeded Maryland advanced out of the quarterfinals last weekend, setting up two blockbuster semifinal matchups on Thursday between top-ranked Johns Hopkins and Michigan in the early bout, then Maryland and second-seeded Penn State in the nightcap. Now, that Penn State squad absolutely brimming with talent. They currently sit ninth-ranked team in the country. Jack Iotwano was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, while defenseman Alex Ross led the way as the Nittany Lions' first-team selection. Now, this group doesn't include last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Hunter Aquino, who returned from injury earlier this month after only playing in 5 games in February. So after a little bit of time away from the competitive surface, Penn State coach Jeff Tambroni joins me now on Big Ten Today. And that's one of the things that kind of fascinates me when there's time off, when there's a bye week available to a team, how you go about kind of staying sharp. How have you kind of taken advantage of the time away in preparation for meeting up against Maryland?
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a luxury to have it. And I think there's just a balance. You know, as a team, we just try to program our guys to be a little bit more disciplined in their routine. And sometimes that can be a really positive, but sometimes that could be a negative if you get too consumed in that. And we were going into this time away from the competitive schedule, we really just tried to make sure that we were continuing to work. You know, what we didn't want to do is lose our competitive edge. So just try to balance time off when we could get it. And I think our trainer, our strength coach did a great job of making sure that when we were off, and our guys were recharging, regenning. But when we were on, our coaching staff really just wanted to set the tone. And I think our leaders did a really good job of this to make sure that we were really getting a lot of work in and taking advantage of the time that we had, not thinking about or preparing for another opponent, rather just managing our own house and trying to do the best job we could of improving what we needed to improve on.
It's been a season that you guys have had to work through, kind of persevere through some adversity, whether you're talking injuries or late game officiating moments that didn't go your way. And yet you turned a corner and ended up sharing the Big Ten regular season title. How much fortitude was necessary to get to that point?
Yeah, man, I think that's always the goal. Resilience is one of our identity pieces that we try to instill early in the fall. And just watching our guys go through it, you know, part of that is just part of the process. And, you know, you certainly want to have some adversity as the season goes on because you just feel like it's going to help callous and prepare you for bigger, more important moments as the season goes on. But I'm proud of the way that our seniors, our captains in particular, just have managed it. We had some disappointing losses earlier in the season. We just weren't ready to win, to be honest. But I think that, you know, through the course of the season, every time that we've lost, we've done a better job of just debriefing on Monday, figuring out what went wrong, how it went wrong, and then more importantly, problem solving and trying to get better. And to the credit of our guys, it hasn't been, you know, kind of abandon the original plan. It's been more, let's rally behind it. Let's be a little bit more focused on the mission that we set out, you know, early in September, late August, and the guys have just stayed focused. They continue to keep moving forward, and the goals that we have set for ourselves are still in front of us. So credit to them. They've done a really good job of just staying focused on it.
Well, it certainly sounds like you've continued to get some work in the time you've had off since that Friendship Cup win to close the regular season. But you were banged up at certain points in the regular season. Were you able to heal up? Like, how healthy is your team this week leading into the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we went through a stretch right in the middle of the season where we had probably 4 or 5 guys, just 4 or 5 starters, just sitting on the sidelines, and you know that's never healthy for anybody. But it gave some other guys an opportunity, some guys to step in and gain some valuable minutes, some time where maybe they would not have, and it kind of now widens or broadens the bench a little bit for us. And at the same time, those guys have now all come back and are now healthy. So it's nice to have that group back. We're just trying to work on some synergy over that 10 days that we've had away from competition and try to give those guys a chance, because it did affect us when they came back originally. The speed of the game, the pace of the game, just trying to recognize reading and reacting in situations that you just have a hard time replicating in practice. You could see it taking its effect, but now I think we've had a chance to be with these guys. They've built the chemistry back on the field, healthy again, and hopefully we can capitalize on their health and be ready to peak at the right time during the year.
You had Jack Iantuano honored this season as the Big Ten Freshman of the Year after Hunter Aquino won that honor last year. You're just the second program in Big Ten history that's been able to do that in back-to-back years. But specific to Jack, he's not a real big guy playing a very physical sport. How does he go about being so effective, especially just in stepping into his freshman season in this way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the beauty of the sport. Like, you can be all shapes and sizes here, and I think he utilizes a great sense of quickness and IQ to really try to stay away from the physicality as much as possible. And I think it bodes him very well. But he is a tough son of a gun. And it's hard. Your freshman year, no matter what position you play, you go through a longer season than you've ever endured, certainly in high school. And then the physicality picks up tenfold from summer league, from high school into college, let alone the position he's playing, where he's a ball-carrying attackman. So he's under duress, in many parts of the game. So I give him a lot of credit. He does not miss practice. He has been a warrior all year. So just really proud of the way he's been able to sustain the energy all year physically. I mean, he gets banged up every single day, but he just continues to take care of himself, come out and make a huge impact in his freshman year. So we're just really excited about the recognition that he got and excited about his future.
Preston Hawkins also honored on the all-freshman team for you this season, and it seems that your defense has really been a key cog in the formula as you guys have ascended throughout the year. What have you seen in Preston's game that's really aided the way that your team has progressed?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the hardest position to play, period, and then let alone do that as a freshman. Can't say enough about what Preston has done, and he's grown in all areas. He has just grown in everything that he's done. I can remember the first game that he started. It's a really tough position to be in. We have an indoor facility and an outdoor facility. We played in the indoor facility, and it's hard to pick up the color of the ball, the shape of the ball when you're inside, because the sight lines are not as good as they are outside. But where he has grown from that first start to where he is now, it's just night and day in his confidence and his leadership and his ability to manage the game. Now, he does have a good group of veterans out in front of him that I think have significantly help him along the way. But Preston has never stopped believing in himself. And that's a position that you need to have confidence. You need to be able to turn the page quickly. And to do that at any level is impressive. To do that as a freshman, he has just shown a great deal of fortitude, a great deal of maturity, and we're excited for him as well in the future.
For your team as a whole, Jeff, what's an area that you want to see some continued improvement heading through the Big Ten tournament and into the NCAAs?
I would say consistency. I mean, I think we've had some really good moments this year. We've beaten some really good teams. I mean, we have 3 or 4 wins in the top 12, top 15. There's been some times that our guys have played, exceptional lacrosse for an entire 60 minutes. And then there's been moments where we have just come out just ill-prepared, or don't play as hard or as connected to the identity as we need to in order to have success, regardless of the ranking or talent of our opponent. And we've dropped some games that, I think our team felt like, going into it, we probably were the favorite or could have won had we played better. So I think it's just a level of maturity that then feeds into the consistency that we just have not been able to attain this year. But I know our guys have worked hard to practice it. It's not just something that you can say you want to do and then all of a sudden magically it shows up. We've just tried to practice a little bit more consistently from drill to drill, from day to day. And again, part of something that we've worked on over the last 10 days is just try to be a little bit more consistent, both mentally and physically going into the Big Ten.
It was the most fun time of the year to cover lacrosse. There's no doubt about that. Best of luck to you moving forward, Jeff.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thursday, the 2026 Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Tournament semifinals comes your way as Johns Hopkins battles Michigan, followed by Penn State against Maryland. Live coverage begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.